Alright, so I am going to show you how to get a loot profile working on Asheron's Call and how to sell your peas on Asheron's Call the fastest way or the most efficient way or the lazy way, you could say. Basically what I do is just set it, depending on how many peas that I have, I'll just set it, walk away for 30 minutes, come back, and all the peas are gone, and I got MMDs. So I'll show you the peas first, then we'll get into doing the loot profile. So we'll pause it, we'll come back when we're in the game. Alright, so if you want to sell your peas, the best plugin to use is actually the Virindi item tool. It's this green triangle looking thing. So you'll click that, and what you want to do is open your vendor. Now obviously if you're selling peas, you're going to be using the magic vendor, the one that sells spell components. The reason I'm using the healer is because I don't actually have peas to sell. So I'm going to sell some heal kits. It's basically the same. It doesn't really matter. This is just my example because I don't have peas. This is just a low level character I'm using. This is not my main character. So what you want to do is for trade notes, MMDs is going to be an option for you. So going back to the Virindi item tool, what you want to do is go to the buy tab. And then the MMDs is going to be an option. So click the MMD and click set buy. And since MMDs is not an option for me, I'm just going to use this V note and click set buy. But you're going to pick the MMD. Just click on it and click set buy. Then click the item you want to sell. And we'll just go with this handy healing kit. Sure, why not? And set sell. Then what you want to do is change the max buy to more than the amount of MMDs you have in your inventory. So let's just say you have 90 MMDs in your inventory and you set this to 100. Once you get to 100 MMDs, it's going to stop. So set it to higher. So if you have a lot of Ps and you just have 5 MMDs, I'd set it to like 1,000. But if you, however, do have 1,000 MMDs, then set it to 2,000. Just set it higher, than the amount of MMDs you're going to make. Because once it gets to that number, it just stops. So that's how you do that. So yeah, set buy as the MMD, set sell as the item you want to sell. In your case, it's going to be Pyro P or the Gold P, but usually Pyro P is what people sell. You're doing it at the spell vendor. Set the max buy to a very high number. If you actually go too high, I discovered it just will do it once and stop. So there is a limit as to how many numbers you can input in here. I don't think you could put 9999999. I think I tried that, and it just does one cell of one stack of peas and then stops. So you got to set it within reason. So 2000 should be a good number. And then just click go. And it'll sell them all, in which case it looks like I only had one. No, it sold more than that. It'll sell them all until it has enough to buy the MMD, which in my case, I don't have enough to buy a V note, so it's actually not going to buy the trade note. But what it does is sell enough until your inventory is basically packed, and then it'll buy the amount of MMDs you can buy. So basically, if you set it how I said, you can go AFK for however many minutes, come back, and all your MMDs will be bought. I actually did buy a V note. I actually did have enough. So if I had more handy healing kits, like a bunch, it would have just kept going. I wouldn't have had to do anything. So that is the easiest way to sell your peas. Now we'll get into how to set up a loot profile. The reason I say loot snob is that's the one people usually use. That's a good starting area. Alright, so like I said, if you want to get a loot profile or write your own, it's a lot easier to get one that was already made and just modify it to your liking. So GDL Enhanced, again, Decal Plugins and Metas tab, and then we will scroll down here to Loot Profiles, Metas, and Bots. Loot Snob, it's the most popular one. Download file. And then right up here is where you actually download it from. Click Save As. And what I'll actually do for the sake of the video is just save it to my desktop. So we'll click Save. We'll close this out just so you can see that it is right here on my desktop. So what you want to do is cut it from here, or copy, whatever you prefer, but I just prefer to cut it. Cut it from here and then actually go into your Virindi tank folder. And where that's located at, if it's default, if you left it as default, is under your C drive, go to Games, Virindi Plugins, and right here, Virindi Tank. That is where you want to paste that loot snob profile. So just showing you right here, this is my loot snob profiles. I have multiple ones that I made. Like I had a bunch of characters, so I had different profiles for different characters. I didn't want every single character, like my mage for instance, picking up the heavy crossbows. So that's why I have multiple ones. Alright, so you got the file into the Virindi tank location, the UTL. So now what you want to do, we'll go back. So if you want to edit it, if you want to actually make changes to it to your liking, how you do that is under the Virindi Tank Classic Looter. So what you do, open this up, open up the settings editor, utank2 settings editor, and then go to File, Open, and it should already know to look in your Virindi Tank folder for the actual UTL file. But if it doesn't, if you go to Open on the settings editor and it has the wrong folder selected, just select your Virindi Tank folder. So C drive, Games, Virindi Plugins, Virindi Tank. And this is only going to show your UTL files. So then open the one that you want to modify. I'll do this one for example. This is one that I actually changed. And this is how you change them. So like the stamina potion for instance, if you toggle it, a line through it, it's now off. It's disabled. That's what all the lines mean through them. So what I actually did, I'll just show you with a couple of items. Just want to find one here. So what I did, for the crossbow for example, the max wield of 375, for currently where they're at in the emulator, is I added this line of Epic Bloodthirst. It used to say something else, but I changed it to spell name match Epic Bloodthirst, because basically I want to pick up every single crossbow that had Epic Bloodthirst, because it's a highly sought after spell on an item. I think they were selling them for a couple hundred MMDs with just Epic Bloodthirst. Doesn't matter what it is. And I did the same thing for bows, and I did the same thing for heavy weapon, light weapons. Every single item I went through setting it to, if it has Epic Bloodthirst, I want you to pick it up. So I did, just to show you here somewhere, I disabled it for some reason for light weapon. There was like a change that it doesn't matter. But anyway, how I set it before they introduced Throne of Destiny was this way. And I'm trying to look here at what else I changed. Here you go. For the heavy weapon max 420, Epic Bloodthirst. But I went through all of those and set them all for whether it was a light weapon, dagger, unarmed, that if it has Epic Bloodthirst, pick it up because I want it. And my idea is at another time I'll actually go through and keep the ones I want, get rid of the ones I don't. But if it has Epic Bloodthirst, I want it. So yeah, that's how you change them and modify them. It's a lot easier, like I said, to take one somebody already created, because I don't fully understand all this code. Like object class, melee weapon, I don't fully understand it, and I don't want to understand it. I just want to know enough that I can actually modify it. And I do think I know enough I can actually modify it. Might not be perfect, but it works for me. So yeah, then once you make your changes, just click save, and you should be good to go. So then what you got to do is we'll actually go back into the game and show you how you enable it in the game. Alright, so we are back in the game, and what you want to do is go to Virindi tank here. Then you want to go to Profiles, and as you currently see, there is no profile selected here. It says none. Just click this little drop down and select the profile. You'll probably just have one starting out, but select that profile. So I'll actually select the one I just edited, which is Loot Snob version 4 my profile. That's kind of what I named it. Well, I named it my profile. Loot Snob version 4 is what Immortal Bob named it. I added the my profile so I can differentiate them between the other ones that I have. But anyway, so we'll select that, and it now tells you in your chat window here that it was successful in applying it. And then select Enable Looting, and it'll be working for you then. That's pretty much how it is. And it's the same way with the metas. So if I right now just hit turn it on, it's not going to do anything because I don't really have anything set. So the metas are the same way. So if you install a meta into your Virindi tank folder, in order to get it to work, you actually got to select it. Now I do have two metas. So we have the auto crafter, for example. We selected it, then we'll click the little button to turn it on. So now when we hit start, what should happen is over here, it's going to open up a window for that meta, which is right here. That's the auto crafter meta. So yeah, if you download a meta, unless you select it in here under profile for Virindi tank, it's not going to do anything once you click start. You actually have to load it. And then obviously when you're done using the meta crafting, set it back to none again and uncheck it. So yeah, I tried to make that as straightforward as I could and as simple as I could. If you have any other questions as far as you didn't quite understand something, just let me know and I will try to explain it better. But I hope that that gives you enough information that you are able to do it yourself. And one of the most important things, again, is just remember where you downloaded whatever profile you're going to use and then move it into the Virindi tank folder. Don't put it in the Virindi tank settings folder. Put it actually into Virindi tank. And then you use the settings folder to actually edit it if you want to, or just leave the profile however it is. But chances are you're going to have to edit it. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It actually helps me out a lot. And subscribe to my channel. So with that, take care.